Welcome to Sandra's Homespun Life, where I make all things yummy. Good morning, guys. This morning I'm going to put on a pan of cornbread. This is a delicious cornbread. If you fix it, you won't be disappointed. It's very simple. It comes together easy and doesn't take long to fix. One of the things this recipe calls for is a cup of buttermilk. I never carry buttermilk on hand because nobody drinks it or uses it enough to make it worth buying, because just to get 1 cup out of it, it usually ends up getting tossed. So I just make my own, and I do that by adding 1 cup of milk. That's what this recipe will call for. If you have buttermilk, go ahead and use that. Certainly. Okay, and then to my milk, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of just white vinegar. And using my little whisk, I'm going to stir that up. And you can see it instantly start wanting to thicken up. So I'm just going to set that to the side while I get the rest of my ingredients put together. It's good to let your buttermilk that you've made set for about 5 minutes. That gives it time to thicken up and do the process real well. For my recipe, I'm using this Martha White cornmeal mix. It's self-rising. My flour is also going to be self-rising because I'd rather just scoop it out and throw it in a bowl and not have to worry about measuring out baking powder and salt and all that extra stuff. So anyway, I'm going to add 1 cup of this self-rising cornmeal to my bowl. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of my self-rising flour. And then I'm going to add just a little dash of salt. And using my spatula, I'm just going to mix those dry ingredients together. Now I'm going to start adding my wet ingredients. And that's going to be my 1 cup of buttermilk that I've made. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 stick of melted butter. And I'm going to add 2 large eggs. And I'm just going to take my fork and beat those lightly just to give them a head start. Makes it easier to get them to mix in with the other ingredients. Now, using this spatula, I'm just going to start mixing this all together until a batter forms and all the ingredients are mixed well. Okay, I have my batter nicely mixed, so I'm going to set that to the side for a minute and get my baking pan ready for my batter. So what I'm using today is an 8-inch silicone baking pan mold. And I'm going to spray the inside with a little bit of my avocado spray. And then I'm going to pour my batter into my baking mold. So I'm just going to gently smooth that batter out with my spatula. And then I'm going to lightly spray the top of my cornbread batter with the avocado spray. So I have my Ninja Foodi plugged up. So to begin, I'm going to add 3 cups of water to the pot. Now, in order to bake this cornbread, I'm going to be using the steaming rack that come with the Ninja Foodi. And I'm just going to pull these little handles to the side and place my cornbread that's in the cake mold on top of that. Then I'm going to raise my handles and place this inside the Ninja Foodi. Next, I'm going to lower the lid. Now I'm going to turn the power button to turn on the Ninja Foodi. I'm going to make sure that my slider is in the steam crisp position. I'm going to turn my knob down till the steam and bake function is lit. My temperature is going to be 325 degrees, and I'm going to bake this for about 17 minutes. And then I'm just going to simply press start. It will preheat for a little bit, and then it will start the baking process. Then the timer will go off, and then we'll be ready to remove our cornbread. Okay guys, our cornbread has baked and the timer's kicked off, so now I'm ready to raise my lid. So now I'm going to carefully remove my cornbread. And I'm going to pull out the handles a little bit so make it easier to slide my baking mold over to my cutting board. There we go. I'm going to try to lift this up without getting burnt and show you what our cornbread looks like. Isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do from here is turn it out onto my cutting board. So I'm going to gently turn out my cornbread. Now here's the thing. When you bake your cornbread in that silicone baking mold, your bottom won't get brown like it would in a traditional pan. But I can assure you that that is cooked all the way through. And this is a delicious cornbread. So I'm going to gently try to flip this back over to where we had the pretty side showing. And that's all there is to it. And it's best to usually let anything you bake set for a little while and cool a little bit before cutting into it. But this is where I make an exception, is when it comes to cornbread. Because there's nothing better than a fresh, hot slice of cornbread with some butter on it. And here's our cornbread. As you can see, it's cooked all the way through. Here's my favorite thing to do with a fresh piece of cornbread. I like to cut it in half and split it open. And take me some good softened butter. I've been letting this butter set out since my bread was baking. And slather on a big, thick layer of butter. And I've got a fork to eat this with, but really, you don't eat cornbread with a fork. You just pick it up with your fingers. Nothing better than a good fresh hot piece of cornbread with butter. Make this recipe, you won't regret it. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been helpful to you. And until next time guys, bye.